Hello Chassos, Jay from Pantheon Studios here. Welcome to another video where we are going to be discussing some of the things that I would love to see come for our faction Tau in 10th edition. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you do all of the internet things down below. If you have any differing opinions, things that you would like to see, anything like that, make sure you pop it down in the comments below, and this will sort of lead me into the biggest caveat for this video. This is an opinion piece. This is not me saying that everything I'm saying is factual, and this is just me expressing some of my wants and opinions and everything else. And it's absolutely fine if you have differing opinions from that, but let's make sure that when we're in the comments section and interacting with each other, we keep it respectful and above board. So, that said, let's get into the video. First things first though, thank you so much to all of my patrons who make all of my videos possible. If you would like to find out how you can support me, help build the studio, and get some awesome things for yourself, stick around to the end of the video. Also, a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video, Aussie Wargaming, who sent me one of these, which is incredible. This is actually the first time in doing any of this YouTube stuff I've actually got something for myself, which is incredible that it's this brand new kit that, you know, I made a video on how hard these things were to get your hands on. Thank you so much, Aussie Wargaming, for the faith in me and for being here since damn near the start of my channel. It's just incredible how much support they've been giving me. Please, all of my chassos, especially if you're within Australia, head to Aussie Wargaming. There's a link in the description to pick up anything for a project that you're working on, Tau, whatever else, at a massive 25% off. Aussie Wargaming are getting new things in stock all the damn time, so make sure that you check in with them regularly. GW, start resupplying your LGSs more. Not just Aussie, but everybody. It's better for the game. It's better for all of us as consumers. Please don't leave your LGSs out in the dark. And the last thing is just on a personal note. I am now streaming whenever I get the chance. Actually, we're going to be having a couple of things happening this weekend. With the release of Path of Exile, I always enjoy participating in a league start. So I'm actually going to be streaming that as soon as I start and hanging out with people and whatever else. So if you'd like to come and be a part of that, head to the link in the description, to my links in bio, which has my Twitch and everything else. It'd be great to see a couple of the chassos show up and, you know, talk some shit and have a little bit of fun. Also on the Sunday morning, and all of this is in Australian Eastern Standard Time. So whatever that ends up translating for you, I'll actually put on my Twitch a little time to next stream thing so you can see when it will be for you. But we are going to be doing a free workshop for one of our patrons, doing a little bit of a list repair. We're going to sit in Discord with a bunch of people that want to show up from the Patreon, and give you a little bit of a taste of what it looks like being in the Pantheon Studios Discord or getting coaching sessions with me. So Sunday morning, 9 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time, we'll be kicking that off. And I'll also make that into a YouTube video so people can enjoy that a little bit later on. So if you'd like to see any of that stuff, links in bio is the link down in the description, and that will take you to all of my additional stuff. All right, so all of that out of the way, let's get into the video. The first thing that I would like to see GW put a focus on for Tau is giving us melee options. Now, this doesn't have to be melee powerhouses that, you know, tear up the entire battlefield, but I would love to see, first and foremost, fusion blades were a thing for us in 8th, and they are such an awesome conceptual thing. It's never made sense to me that a faction like ours, which is innovative in nature, does not get something when every army in the game wants to run at them and smash them with power fists and power swords and scything talons and whatever else. It does not make sense to me that we haven't developed the ability to punch back in melee. And I would love to see them put a bit of a focus on that. We've already seen that they've developed things for anti-melee with the charge reduction and blowing up battlesuits when they die in combat and all that sort of stuff. I would love to see them take that further and give us dedicated melee units. I mean, hell, the thing that Farsight's in is like a Void battlesuit or something. Have Void battlesuits with fusion blades. Or have, as we've had across different editions, where prototype systems get upgraded to sort of your standard battle gear, which has been really cool conceptually. Have the thermoneutronic projector be something that crisis suits can take or certain units can take to facilitate a little bit of that. Obviously, we'd have to have a little bit of a weapon skill increase. It also never made sense that they would be highly trained battlesuit pilots that just crumbled as soon as somebody got within 5 feet of them. But I think that having dedicated melee would really open up our faction. Don't get me wrong, I love that we're all shooting. I really do love that we are great at range. But I would like to have some melee options. Nothing overwhelming, nothing that you spam, but enough that we have something to plug into our list and make people question whether they just want to infinitely run at us. And obviously Overwatch wasn't fantastic because we saw the cluster flus that was at the end of 8th, or throughout our 8th Codex, where everything could Overwatch, and now we've gotten to the point where I think the focus on speed, the focus on maneuverability, the focus on having some crippling damage at range, but being able to affect some sort of scoring plan or boxing plan that doesn't just include crude hounds or throwing, devilfish and breaches in people's face. I think that there is a lot of room for our faction to innovate here, and I would love to see that fleshed out. All right, thing number 2 is a focus on the data sheets. Now, GW have said that they've rebuilt all of the data sheets from the ground up, and I think that this is an opportunity to take some data sheets that we have not seen in competitive and make them really, really stand out. One of the first things that pops into my mind is the Ghost Keel. Now, I had a little bit of a meme list. I took this to one of the most competitive environments that I could have, and I took it to a 66% win rate, but that was not actually a reflection of having a Ghost Keel in my list. That was a reflection of my ability to pilot something and, do well with it, which is great for me, and that's not to suck my dick or anything. But, generally speaking, I know the faction well enough that I can do relatively well with almost any list. What I would love to see is a focus on some of the things that stopped those units being in the meta. And it stands out to me that the Ghost Keel, I pitched this in my video, that if we were to just take away one single line of text from the Ghost Keel, we'd be fine. It'd be an S tier unit, which is the cannot be targeted unless you're within 18 or it's a closest eligible model. With the way that Tau plays, we generally don't throw a billion things in somebody's face unless you're really ready for it with a Fisher Fury sort of get in your face style thing. So if we had Ghost Keels, just remove the closest eligible model thing. Cannot be targeted outside of 18. It means you've got something sitting at the back. I mean, if you fill your list with 3 Ghost Keels, that is not going to be oppressive to almost anyone, but it provides area denial. It is incredibly unique. And I think it makes it an S-tier model that can hold backfield objectives, stand out in the open, not have to worry about firing and fading behind walls. And it gives your opponent the chance to, okay, if I want to run at him and get within 18, I can shoot him. But do I want to do that given what else is hiding behind walls and everything else? And I would love to see this taken so that, there is a really passionate fan base within Tau that loves the idea of being able to run a stealth suit only army. Small stealth suits, ghost kills, that sort of stuff. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. I would love to see them lean into that a little bit and make it something that is flavorful, it's strong, but it's not oppressive. And I think it would find a place among, we've seen Tau Sept, Long Strike, and Hammerhead spam and all that sort of stuff. We've seen Fast on Enclave's Crisis Suit spam. We've seen all flavors of Fisher Fury. And I think that's honestly really, really awesome. If we can add to that to have a little bit more diversity and variety, that would be absolutely amazing. Number 3, I would love a revision of our Forge World stuff. And some of our bigger battle suits. I mean, Storm Searchers don't need to be 400 and something points because nobody's going to want to take them. That was an overswing by GW that never got corrected. And I love the idea of being able to run big battle suits and make up an army of them. I mean, it's one of the things that drew me to the faction in the first place is that I could run Storm Surges, Riptides, all that sort of stuff. I love bigger models over little fiddly things, which is why I never really enjoy running a Horde army. Just ask my Skaven over there. And I would love to see them revise that, and on top of that, have a little bit more of an offering from the Forge World stuff. It got left out in the cold for so long, and there is so much potential there. I really, really hope that as they're doing 10th, they bring more of a variety, not just in the Codex models, but also in the stuff that we can pick up from Forge World, and make it so that there is a lot more choice. And at the end of the day, this is what I'm hoping for from 10th. The most is choice. As a career DM, one of the things that I always have aspired to is being able to give my players choices to solve problems. I think that that is where you are peak tabletop anything. When people have different ways they can solve problems that feel like player efficacy. Like, they have made a choice to do something, and it either pays off or doesn't because of choices that they made. Number 4, I'd like a revision to Mondkar and Kaoyun. And this kind of became super apparent to me in my interview with Hayden Walduck, who is a WTC champion, that when we look at it, and he raised a really, really good point. Mondkar you get from the start and then it falls off a little bit, which is fine, but, you know, we've seen how powerful it can be where Space Marines don't have Assault Doctrine or Devastator Doctrine or whatever else fall off at any point. The sheer amount of power and quality of life that they got by those buffs never falling off was immense. And a view of Kaoyun and Mondkar, Kaoyun kind of sucks because if his words, if you told Imperial Guard they would only get their auto-winning 6s from turn 3 onwards, it'd kind of suck. And it's the same thing with us with Mondkar Kaoyun. I love that they went that sort of like flavorful sort of route, but I actually would prefer it if you had Mondkar as being an offensive buff and Kaoyun as being something that made you decidedly tankier. I don't know how they would achieve that, but having that as a gameplay choice might actually be really nice, where if you know that you need to go full glass cannon, you pick Mondkar. If you know that you need to stick around for the game and be a little bit tankier, then you go for Kaoyun. It's something that I think would breathe a little bit of life into that decision. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's poorly implemented, we will just see another meta where Mondkar is the best choice across the board. I don't know if that's something we'll ever escape because, as I've said before, competitive players, if there is a 0.5% increase in taking one thing over another, generally speaking, they will take it. You do this in almost any game. I raid Mythic in WoW. Check out our stream if you want to come and hang out for those. We're doing Mythic raids against Prog at the moment. But in that game, I will make decisions for my character that are 0.1% increases in power. But as long as it gives me that power, I will do it. And it's because you have to. If you're wanting to win tournaments, if you're wanting to win GTs and majors and whatever else, you need to be as powerful as you can be. So I don't know if we ever solve that problem, and I don't know if calling it a problem really is correct. But I would love to see a revision of Mondkar and Kaoyun so that Kaoyun isn't a decision you make where you give up your first 2 turns and give up priority on the board and that tempo that sometimes you need to win games in order to take something to get a buff at the end of the game. And it's also, you know, Kaoyun as a thing waiting for the last 3 turns, you need to think about in real world tournament play, if you are having people that are going up against slow players or clocking out or whatever else, waiting for the last 3 turns of the game, even though it might be a significantly stronger buff, that can actually hamper people just because of circumstance, which kind of sucks. So that was just a quick list off the top of my head of the things that I would like to see revised and changed. If you have any ideas, pop them down in the comments. I will probably have more of these things come to me as I'm looking at 10th and the reveals that we have and everything else. But this is probably the only really like speculation or opinion piece that I will do, just because I don't really believe in that sort of a content when it's overdone. But let me know what you thought in the comments. Thank you so much to all of my patrons that will be on screen now. Patrons get access to the Pantheon Studios Australia Discord, which in turn gives them things like list help, access to one of the best Knights players in Australia, access to me and opinions and whatever else. We also have been running D&D. We're on a small hiatus at the moment, but we'll be coming back very shortly where they're able to just jump in and catch a stream and hang out and do whatever. So if you would like to join them, head over to the Patreon page. Everybody that contributes to the studio is making such a world of difference. So far, we have been able to improve so many things, and we have so many plans for the future, which these wonderful people are making possible. Thank you very much to Aussie Wargaming for the boarding patrol. I still cannot believe I have one of these. I've dreamed since being a little boy that I could use my influence to get free shit. So I could help myself. But thank you so much, Aussie Wargaming. I'm blown away. And thank you, Shassos, for being here. And I'll see you in the next one.